Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about American Psycho. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that movie from 2000? Yes, and I saw it for the first time last week, and it was pretty good. Everyone was telling me that American Psycho was so good, and one of my best friends, he said that American Psycho was very good, and he hasn't even watched it. So that must tell you how awesome it is. And it was pretty awesome, I'll get to that. American Psycho is a horror slash crime, I think. Don't know exactly what, but it's like a psychological horror, you know what I mean? It's not for the faint of heart, so before you jump into it, there is nudity, extreme violence, and sex and all that stuff. And this will contain spoilers, I think, slight spoilers, but we'll get to that. Starring Christian Bale. Christian Bale does a great job in being insane throughout the whole movie. He kills it. He's a brilliant actor, that guy. And Willem Dafoe's in it as well. I didn't expect that, but he's there. He's a detective man, and he's cool. I like him. So American Psycho was adapted from a book, also called American Psycho, which I didn't know. I thought it was just a movie straight up, but it is. It was first a book and then it was adapted to a movie. It was directed by Mary Harron, and I looked into this more because Mary Harron's other movies are also set in like the 1970s, 1980s. So she seems like a specialist in that kind of era, which is pretty cool, even though they didn't blow up as well. Obviously, American Psycho did very, very well, but she has interesting movies, and I'd love to get to them eventually, hopefully. So, let's start from the movie, top to bottom, and I'm not going to go through the positives and the negatives, because this movie is so good, I don't think there are any negatives. But, yeah, well, there's no negatives that have jumped out at me, but the movie follows Patrick Bateman, a bank trader and a young businessman in the Wall Street era, like the time that Wall Street was coming up. It is 1980s, in the 1980s, I believe. Early on, there is a hint of something not quite right with him in the nightclub scene because it starts off in like a restaurant, but then I think he wakes up first. I can't remember exactly the order, but he gets into a nightclub and he orders a drink, and while she's turned away, it shows the mirror, and his reflection. It shows his reflection, and then he says some stuff like "I'm going to kill you" or something like that, and then immediately it's like, does he have a dual personality? And that's played around in the movie. It's so smart that the reflection was distorted, and he says that while the camera is viewing the mirror. Genius. So throughout the movie, he gets a little more deranged and starts losing control. Like his evil side comes out a lot more than his normal civilized side, and he just murders a little bit more and more. The dialogue kept me guessing as to why he did certain things before he killed. Like he obsesses over music. He talks about Whitney Houston and albums that she did and albums that like pop singers wrote as he's busy recording women or he's collecting murder weapons. He talks about music, and I was wondering what the whole significance of music is, but it wasn't explained. Um, a cool detail is Patrick Bateman sitting with his colleagues and comparing business cards with each other. This is like halfway, I think. All of their business cards look exactly the same with some minute and meaningless discrepancies between them. Like this one has is plain white, and then this one is ivory white, and this one is teeth white. Like they're all exactly the same, pretty much the same font, same spacing, everything. And this guy loses his mind when he sees his rival's card. Like, oh my god, this is so amazing. He ends up killing that guy. Spoilers, sorry. This rival guy, he shows up, gives him his card, but you notice that he's dressed like him, like the same hairstyle, same suit, same kind of clean shaven, chiseled jaw kind of guy, same hairstyle, most importantly, and I think he has glasses as well. And you look at the other members, and it clicks that they're all trying to be the same person, a wealthy banker who just gets a lot of women, has cocaine in clubs, and just stuff like that. So something unique about this movie that you don't really see in like other crazy people that start going crazy. You can see how, like the way he's losing his mind, because he actually does narrate a little bit. He's busy explaining why he thinks he doesn't deserve forgiveness and all these things. Another scene during his date with his secretary, you can see him grab different murder weapons, but he puts them away. Like he grabs an axe, puts it away, grabs a knife, puts it away. And I think he's falling back and forth between personalities, or maybe he's just not satisfied with her answers to his question. Like every time he asks her something, he grabs something, but then she's so humble and answers it so correctly, then he just puts it back like, no, this isn't right. I think, but I'm not sure. And I actually watched this with my girlfriend, and she was commenting about like the shadows in the face. Like one half of his face is shadowed, and then as soon as he goes back, like his other half of his face gets shadowed. I didn't see that. I didn't pick that up, but apparently that is there. And there's just a lot of questions we don't have a solid answer for, so we have to think about it. And I'm left picking apart all of his dialogue and everyone's dialogue to see what is this what does this person represent? What do they represent? Is he trying to be everybody? Is this all is in his head? It's very weird because the ending is open ended. The lawyer explains stuff, and it's like, okay, I don't know if this is in his head or if he actually killed everybody. He does impersonate his peers, like he physically sets him up. That he was having dinner here, at the same time as I was over here, right? So there's just hints everywhere of things that could be there, and it might be what's it called when it's there but it's not real. Like he gives you a hint, but it's not an actual hint. It's like to throw you off, that thing. I don't know. Don't know what the true meaning is. Overall, the movie has amazing shots. Music fits really, really well. There are classics in there, which gives to the era, you know. The set and the outfits really immerse you nicely into the 80s. It's really well done. The actual character, Patrick Bateman, it leaves me wondering why he kills and what causes him to start killing. What does he get out of it, or if the whole thing is just in his head. It's actually a lot of fun to think about the different theories, because sometimes, so like Inception in the ending, you wonder if it's a last layer of more Inception or if they're in the real world. That's one thing, but in this, there's hints everywhere. It's so cool. So I rate this movie 9 out of 10. I didn't like the sex scenes. I don't like sex scenes in general, but the rest of the movie is so well done. If they didn't have that, it would be a 10, because there's just nothing wrong with this. There's no dialogue out of place. There's no useless characters. Everything's there for a reason, you know. I think this is a good first 9 to start out, like the first 9 of the channel, because like a 7 is a pretty decent movie. There's a few problems. 8 is a solid movie. 9 is an amazing movie, and 10 will be a perfect movie, you know. So yeah, I think this is pretty fun movie. And if you guys want to see more, let me know. I would love to do Dark Knight Rises, not Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight. Also with Christian Bale. I don't just want to jump right into that, because there's a lot more movies I want to get to first. Like with my gaming channel, I have so much I want to do, but there's not enough time right now. I need to get things out the way first, you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.